know the truth. For many years, I avoided your questions, my child. About you, about me, about your father. But you must know, you're not from here. Your homeland is to the north, in Bulgaria. Let me tell you a tale. Once, a powerful noble named Constantine led a rebel army to Turnovo, the capital of Bulgaria. The reigning Tsar, a murderer who had usurped the throne, fled with his son Ivan to the court of the Roman Emperor. The grateful nobles of Bulgaria, a class of men called the Boyars, proclaimed Constantine Tsar. The new king brought peace to Bulgaria. He wed the emperor's niece and even arranged the marriage of the once a powerful noble named Constantine led a rebel army to Turnovo. The new king brought peace to Bulgaria. He wed the emperor's niece and even arranged the marriage of the Roman ruler's daughter to a one-eyed Mongol Khan. But such peace was not to last. Men are like wolves. They smell weakness. While riding, the Tsar fell from his horse, shattering his legs and spine. The crippled Tsar watched helplessly as his kingdom descended into anarchy. Tatar raiders invaded his lands, while the Boyars busied themselves with increasing their own power. For fear of the raiders' torch, the peasants accepted the Boyars' whip. A most unlikely man changed this fate. A common pig farmer appeared in a small village. His hands were calloused, and his weathered face was like that of any man who worked for his livelihood. But this man was different. Not only did he urge the people to resist the Tatars, but he somehow turned his words into action, leading a militia to defend the villages. Soon, his unlikely successes attracted the attention of far more powerful and ruthless men.
We are too late. Tatars were here.
Ivelo! Tatar horsemen approach!
Tatars! Man the walls!
The Tatars slaughter our people! But the treacherous Boyars do nothing! They would sooner take the bread from our mouths than defend Bulgaria! No crops grow here in the dead of winter. We will need to find animals. The Tatars burned the villages but left the livestock to roam the woods.
Приказания. Зиждител. Да. Зиждител.
Приказания. Аз
Приказания.
готов. Зиждителница. 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 Зиждителница.
Здрав буд. Зиждител. Аз готов. Да. Зиждител. Зиждител. Здрав буд.
What is this? Peasants taking up arms in the villages? And your mischief, sir, so have you all flogged and hung.
Да. Вашим услугам. Понятно.
mob of serfs with spears and swords. I will not tolerate rebellion in my villages.
Da, аз Делайо.
Zdrav put.
Приказания?
Da.
Enough, sir! You kill and kill while the Tatars grow stronger. Do something useful for Bulgaria. Ally with me. I have a proposition that will make you a powerful man. Golda was a wealthy town before the Tatars took it. Recapture it, and I will make you a boyar. Georgi Terter, one of my best warriors, will join you.
Da, Zania.
The boyars plot my overthrow. I cannot kill them myself, but you can. Kill the boyars, and I will give you their lands and titles. done a great service for your Tsar. But alas, you are peasant scum and could never rise to be one of my nobles. I will end your little uprising now. You dare defy your Tsar? I will blot you out.
We were fools to trust the Tsar. He must pay with his life.
Ваши условия.
You were born a peasant and you will die a peasant. And you are a peasant. Never forget that. Kill the only man who kept the Mongol Khan and the Roman Emperor at bay. Cannot understand the ruin of
Sometimes, the actions of others force us to make drastic decisions. Such was the case with Ivailo. Whatever his intentions, the armed band he led grew beyond him. It became a force of fury and of revenge. Having overthrown their masters, the peasants took vengeance on the hated nobles, murdering their families before blinding them with scorching hot needles. Ivailo himself was said to have slain Constantine. The Tsar's severed head was carried by a horseman to Turnovo, the capital. There, it was presented to the Tsar's wife, Maria, and their 7-year-old son. After her husband's murder, the Tsarina ruled the kingdom in disarray. Though this would have challenged even the most capable Tsar, the dark-haired Greek princess was greater than most men. Beautiful and cunning, Maria Paleologina Cantacuzene was a daughter of two of the greatest families in Constantinople. She had wed the Tsar on the orders of her uncle, the Emperor, but her Byzantine guile proved as much a benefit to her husband. When a rival Bolyar threatened Constantine's rule, Maria offered to adopt him as her son and heir. The opportunistic Bolyar accepted and feasted in the Tsar's court, only to be found dead shortly afterward. Poisoned. But now, with an uprising in the countryside and scheming Bolyars in her own court, it would take all of Maria's cunning to preserve her power. But a more threatening menace came from her own uncle. The headstrong Roman Emperor Mikhail Palaiologos demanded his niece's submission. The Tsarina, just as strong-willed, refused. Furious that his own niece stifled his ambition, the Emperor chose an exiled prince to place on the Bulgarian throne. Ivan, the returning son of the Asen dynasty deposed by Constantine, led a great Roman army to retake his father's kingdom. The Tsarina alone could not defeat the Romans. nor could Ivailo challenge both Zarina and Ivan. The logic of these facts dictated the most unlikely alliance between a rebel leader and the wife of the Tsar he murdered. Ivan Asen and his Roman thugs are desecrating the Church of the Patriarchs. Save the church, and you will be rewarded beyond your dreams.
Ivailo! Help us!
The little piglet has come to play. Do not worry, piglet. You will have a place in my kingdom. Shoveling pig down.
Join me, Ivailo. I promise you that no woman is quite like me.
I grow weary of you. I will crush you now and take the throne from that harlot of an empress.
Oh, that pesky little Ivan is still running about. It would please me if you made him squeal for mercy.
Приказания.
Our enemies have stolen the relics of Saint Ivan of Rila. It would give me such pleasure if you found the relics and brought them to the monastery.
Приказания, аз собираюсь. twoimi ogólniadno.
No bother. They're only men. There's many more where they came from. Run. Back to your sow, little piglet.
Such aggression. I find your victory so alluring.
Subirajos. Zgodnie. Tak. Тотчас долаю.
Ivailo's army filled the Yantra River with Roman dead, securing Maria's place on the throne. Now, the Tsarina had to fulfill her end of the bargain. As Ivailo approached the gates of the fortress, Maria waited silently for the man who had killed her husband. As Ivailo stepped before her, the Tsarina placed the Tsar's crown, once worn by her husband and father of her child, on the swineherd's head, crowning a peasant a king. The objections of the watching nobility were silent but palpable. Then, in a hasty ceremony, Maria wed the newly crowned Tsar, tying her fate with his.